Lutta. I'm 35 years old. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 33 in 2014. I found out I felt a lump and I decided to go to my GP. I didn't think anything of it at that stage because a year prior to that I had twins, and I thought it's just a milk duct, something normal, nothing hectic. I then went to my GP. He did the examination, asked a couple of questions, and then I became worried because to him it didn't feel normal. Next day he sent me for mammogram. Was completed with my mammogram, and then they told me I have to wait for my results, and when they gave me the results, they said I should see my GP immediately. When I saw my GP that day, my husband was with me, and this is a GP that I've been with since I was a child. He looked at me and then he came around the desk and took my hand and he said to me, "It's not good news." And when he said that to me, everything he said after that, up until today, I can't remember what he said. I just hit a blank, complete blank, just hearing it's not good news. That was all I needed to hear. I was completely blank after that. He sat and he told us the different options. He immediately scheduled an appointment for me to see a surgeon. I saw the surgeon the following day, and everything happened so fast. Did additional tests, went for scans, etc., and they confirmed that it was breast cancer. I saw the oncologist the next day. The oncologist confirmed that it was grade 4, and it spread quite far. It was 2 big lumps. Together the lumps added up to about 8 centimeters. And when they went through the whole process, and because everything happened so far, it was literally within 1 week. They told me the different options that I have. Obviously, doing chemotherapy, radiation, an op, etc. And I started off with chemotherapy exactly 2 weeks later, or actually a week later from the day that I was diagnosed. And how long chemotherapy would be? I did 2 different types of chemo. And that was taxing itself on me. My kids was very young. My twins was just over a year, and my eldest one was 4. So it was difficult. The chemo that I did, obviously you see on TV people how sick they are of chemo, etc. And I think probably because of my age played a big part, because of my fitness level. I was strong enough to get through my chemo, but it was also very taxing on my body. It was emotionally draining. It was physically draining because my kids was young. They didn't understand much. They want mommy to play with them. They wanted mommy to do things for them, and I had to take a step back because I came back from chemo and then I had slept for like days. I was nauseous, etc. But with help and support from my husband and my family. My mother, I think it's difficult on a partner, it's difficult on you that's diagnosed, but for a parent to see the child go through something like that, my dad didn't say much. My mom is emotional, she cries a lot, but it was very difficult for them. But, they kept strong to be there for my kids so that I could just do what I needed to do, and that was to get better and to get rest. And I did that with support of family, cousins, brothers, my sister-in-laws. I couldn't ask for better. And that means a lot for people being around you. I told myself, 2014, I'm not starting 2015 by doing any chemo. And alhamdulillah, my chemo, every time you go for chemo, you have to do blood test. And alhamdulillah, my blood count was perfect every time for me to do my chemo. It was never delayed. And on the 31st of December 2014, I completed my last chemo. It was a long journey. It was difficult, but I got through it. In 2015, I did my double mastectomy. It was my choice. The doctors didn't tell me my breast cancer was on the right side. The doctors didn't tell me, do both it was a decision that I made, and with the support of my husband, because I do feel that, you know, it's you going through it, and you have so much support and everybody is there for you, but your partner also goes through it at the same time. So, you know, Sumayya and I, we decided together, and I had the double mastectomy. Something I did, and you don't always have the energy for it, and not everybody's the same. I actually trained with a biokinetist prior to my op to make me physically strong, to make my arms physically strong, that my op was actually a breeze compared to my chemo. I was able to get up the same day, but the next day be able to move my arms with physio, etc. And I think having the courage and having the strength to actually do exercising prior got me through it and got me to heal very quickly after my op. Once I was recovered from my op, I started training again, and it's not easy. You know, I'm saying it and it sounds easy, but it's not an easy task. You need to have the strength, and not everybody has the same strength while we're doing chemo. After I recovered there, I did radiation, which was, it sounded long, 25 sessions, but that was actually easy. And then shortly after that, I started hormone therapy. And, you know, everybody says that, or when you're diagnosed, it's shock, it's fear, you don't know what's happening around you, and you think chemotherapy and it's scary. But if you don't go through it yourself, you wouldn't realize what impact hormone therapy actually has on your life, because that changes your life completely. I was 34 years old going through menopause. I don't think any 34-year-old normally goes through menopause, and you know, your body gets forced into it. So it's actually this, I would say the symptoms and the side effects is actually worse than naturally going through menopause. And that had a major impact on my life. You know, your aches and pains and stuff, you might be 34, but your body feels like a 60-year-old, and that was difficult. And alhamdulillah, I went through that, and my life kind of went on as per normal. My kids, I tried to keep my life as normal as possible because of my kids being so young and they don't understand. Fortunately, in 2016, early on in this year, I found out that my breast cancer spread to my bone, and I started treatment again. This was difficult the second time around, purely because you know what you have to do what you went through the first time. It was very difficult. But once again, with the support of my husband, and I couldn't have asked for a better partner, and my children, just looking at them, just gave me the courage. I thought to myself, you know, I beat this once, and I'm going to beat it again. It's not easy, and I didn't know what the treatment plan was immediately, but I got through it. It's a difficult thing, and now it's an ongoing treatment that I do on a monthly basis. It's not as aggressive as what the chemo was, but it's still taxing on your body because it has different side effects. I've always tried to keep like a balanced life with eating habits, but now this time around I've completely changed my lifestyle with regarding exercise regularly. And you know what, I don't, you know, you kind of exercise or you run with your group of people, and if one person cancels, you know, it's easier, stay at home, it's cold outside, you just don't go. Now it is, you know, I'm not doing it for others, I'm doing it for myself, and my complete lifestyle change with eating. You know, I'm a chocolate lover, but I also know it's bad for me, so you know, it's all in moderation, and that's exactly what I do now. I completely changed what my eating styles is. And you know, it means I have to cook 2 pots of food, or my mom cooks for us, my mom cooks 2 pots of food. But in order for me to, you know, ensure that I eat the right stuff, I've completely changed it. What would I say? I don't like you, and I'm going to beat you. You know what? I can easily ignore someone if that person irritates me, and if I don't like it, the person. And that's exactly what I do with cancer. I completely ignore it. You know what? I've learned now it's not a death sentence. I was able to fight it, and I had the strength to fight it. It's difficult, but you can get through it. So if I had to have a conversation with cancer, I would say, you know, I beat you once, and I'm going to beat you again, and you're not going to get the better of me.